What's up guys, it's Mega giving you yet another deck request for Link Evolution. This time guys, we're going to be doing a Nordic deck. This deck is of course my own opinion at the end of the day, and it's completely cool if you disagree with any of the cards that I showed in this video. Nordics are nowhere near a meta deck or competent deck. They're actually not a bad casual deck to play. They're actually pretty fun, especially if you want to role play the whole 5D's anime, bringing out the free Nordic gods with the use of tuner cards, especially their own archetype tuner. It is a lot easier and a lot better to play the Nordic gods, especially Odin and Thor. It's easier to bring out them. Loki is still obviously the hardest one to bring out, but nevertheless you can still play him, and it's super fun when you can just play them because your opponent doesn't expect you to go over them, and all three of them are beat sticks with very powerful attack points and okay effects, and they're just very fun to play in my opinion. If you're struggling to make this deck or any deck shown so far, check out the card hub, not only to tell you if a card's in this game or not, tell you where to find it, such as campaign, challenge mode, or a card pack that does include the new cards that got added via the update. That is in the description down below, along with my Twitch, where I do try and stream as much as I can, playing other games and also Link Evolution when I have the time. And with that guys, let's get into the video. Starting us off guys is 3 copies of Elvis of the Nordic Alpha. It's a shame this card is not a tuner, otherwise it would be easier to go into low key, but you have to do what you have. So if you haven't noticed, we're not running any hand traps, or we are running a few hand traps such as Effect Veiler and 3 copies of Caught by the Grave. We're not running cards such as Ash Blossom just because it's very tight to run it in this deck. And again, it's more of a casual build, but it's still very fun to play. And so when it comes to Alvarez, if this card is banished by the effect of a Link monster, or should I say if only this card is banished by the effect of a Nordic Link monster, you can target one Nordic monster you control that has a level, then use it along with 2 Nordics in your deck whose total levels equal 10. You don't have to send a tuner, by the way, for that effect, and you can special summon an AZ. You just have to summon Nordic. You just have to send Nordics that make up level 10. Then you automatically get to special summon an Asia monster from your deck. And it also has another ability which is really great. If this card is in your if this card is in your graveyard, and one of your Asias, so one of your 3 Nordic gods, is destroyed by opponent's card, is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, doesn't matter how, as long as it's sent there, you can banish this card from your grave and special summon another Asia from your extra deck as long as it has a different name. So if you have Odin on the field and it's sent to the graveyard by your opponent, you can special summon 4 or Loki directly to the field. Absolute great, this bad boy is. We are running kind of a chaos package. We are running Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. The reason why we're running chaos package is because Effect Veiler in itself is a level, so is a light attribute tuner. Valkyrie of the Nordic Ascendant is a tuner, and a lot of the Vandis cards and the Vandis of the Nordic Ascendant and Alvarez is a dark. So it is quite easy to get the dark and lights in the grave in order to bring out other boss monsters, so you're not just having to rely on your synchro plays. So BLS guys, you banish 1 light and 1 dark monster from your grave, then special summon this bad boy. It has effects where you can target 1 monster on the field, banish it, doesn't matter if it's face down or not, just straight out banish. It can't attack the same turn you play that effect. Also, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can make a second attack that does include a direct attack. 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Levier. You have to banish a total of 3 light or dark monsters, so you're not really going to go into this as easy as the other 2 cards, but it's still easier to go into. And when it's summoned, you basically can activate an effect based on what card you banish. So if you only banish light monsters, you get special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense mode. If you use only dark, you get to shuffle 1 random card your opponent controls in their, or one card your opponent has in their hand into the deck. And if you use both light and dark, you can destroy up to 2 cards on the field. One copy of Chaos Sorcerer to round out the Chaos package. Again, it needs 1 light and 1 dark monster. You can target 1 face-up monster, only face-up cards, on the field and banish it. This card cannot attack the turn you activated its effect. So again, it's kind of like a weaker version of BLS, but it's just if you haven't got a BLS, it's just so great to go into and just banish your opponent's card. And yeah, so that's why we're running these guys. And also because this guy's a level 6, you can use him in conjunction with a Fet Veiler if you have a Fet Veiler in your hand, and you can synchro into Moonlight Rose Dragon. Then 3 copies of Fet Veiler. Monster effects, guys, are obviously the most powerful things your opponent has, in my personal opinion. I know spell and traps are powerful, but monster effects are kind of key. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the grave, and then you can target one monster your opponent has and negate its effect until the end phase. The reason why I'm kind of running this rather than Impertinence is because, again, it's a light attribute, it's a monster, so that means we can banish it for our like chaos package. Also, you can search it off Crystalline Needle Fiber and go into a bigger link play. Then going on to the Nordics cards, we are running 2 copies of Guild Foxy of the Nordic Beast. Should your opponent control a synchro and you control no monsters, especially from this bad boy from your hand, he's a tuner, guys, so it's easy to go into. So you need this guy to go into 4 if you want to do him legitly. And yeah, it's just so great to go into. It's special summoned via the effect of, is it Transgeisnir? You get special summon so you get special summon Foxy easier. And yeah, it's just a nice card going to. 2 copies of Mimir, is it Mimir of the Nordic Ascendant. At the start of your standby phase, if you control a Nordic monster and this card is in your grave, you can send 1 spell card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this. So if you have Hip Carnival and you've already used its effects, you don't really need it anymore, you can just send a Hip Carnival to the grave, special summon this card to the field. The reason why this card's actually not bad is because you can kind of send it to the grave for various or for Vandras's like level manipulation. It's a dark attribute, so it works great with our chaos package. Also, because he's a Nordic, you can use just him to go into the Link monster, and also because again he can resurrect himself pretty much from the graveyard, you can use him to go into higher Link plays. 3 copies of Rescue Cat. The Beast package is still the best package, guys, kind of in this deck, so that's why 4 has seen the most play out of all of the Nordic cards, and with the new support, Odin's got more support really. We just need more support for Loki really. So if this card, so you can summon this card and you can send it to the graveyard, special summon 2 level 3 or lower beast type monsters from your deck, as long as they have so so you can summon the same monster as well. The effects are negated, but really you can just special summon 1 of each or 2 of your Transgeisnir or Transneistir. I think I'm pronouncing the names correctly. And then you've got 2 monsters directly onto the field. You can use them to link into a Link 2 play. If you've got other monsters going to higher play, you could just send 1 of them to the grave, summon out your Nordic monster. If you have Guild Foxy on the field, you can automatically go into 4. So many plays just because of Rescue Cat. 3 copies of Transgeisnir. I think that's Transneistir, yeah. So you got I think this is Transneistir of the Nordic Beast. So when a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, when this card is swapped from defense mode to attack mode, you can special summon a Nordic Beast directly to your field. So if your opponent's already done their play, destroyed your last monster, they've got another monster that can attack, you just special summon this bad boy, during your next standby phase, flip it to attack mode, summon out Guild Foxy, boom. You can go into Needle Fiber, Moonlight, you could go in, if you have another level 3, you could go into 4. You see what I mean, guys, you can do a lot of plays with this. And then 3 copies of Transneistir, I think that's how I'm saying this. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you get special summon 2 Nordic Beast tokens, which are both got level 3. And this is actually not bad if you combine it with the new Link monster, because the Link monster requires a lot of like cards to use. So yeah, you can just banish your own, like you can just use, like if this card's destroyed and you've got the 2 tokens, you can count the tokens with as the cost for the Link. But it's just great if it goes to the grave, you've got cards to protect yourself. Again, if you combined it with Vandaris or Guild Foxy, you can just go into a Nordic god. 2 copies of Valkyrie of the Nordic Ascendant. You can play Valkyrie's effect legitly when like in your opening hand, when this card is normal summoned, you can, and your opponent controls a monster and you control none, you can banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand and summon 2 Inherior tokens, and then you can basically just link her with the or synchro them all the way to go into Odin. You can just link her away if you want to go into the new Link monster and then go that way. But because she's a Nordic Ascendant Tuner monster, she's kind of protection for Odin. That's the main reason why I use it. She's just a lot of things because she's a Nordic, and she's great sent to the graveyard for Vandarus' effect. And speaking of Vandarus, of the Nordic Ascendant, another tuner, this card can substitute itself for any one Nordic tuner monster, so it can basically summon out 4 Loki or Odin, and if this and also you can send 1 Nordic monster from your deck to the grave, and this monster's level will change depending on what monster you send. So if you have, no matter what, you should easily be able to summon out a Nordic god, and you just go from there with Vandarus. Again, because it's a Nordic Ascendant tuner, it's best to use it with Odin, because then Odin has some protection. Going on to the spells, guys, 2 copies of Ares Rock Sunrise. So this is like a Monster Reborn for Beast type monsters. So you can special summon Rescue Cat to use Rescue Cat's ability all over again. You can resurrect Guild Foxy if you've got Rescue Cat in hand. Like just Rescue Cat and Ares Rock Sunrise just equals 4 Lord of the Aesir. It also has another effect where all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls will lose 200 attack for each beast, plant, and winged beast currently in your graveyard until the end of the turn. So it just makes your opponent's cards weaker, really helpful. 3 copies of Called by the Grave. It just gives some more protection, guys. Shuts down your opponent's hand traps so they can't hand trap you. If your opponent tries to resurrect cards in the graveyard or move cards in the graveyard, it shuts it down. So it just removes some play and shuts down so they can't do that. And also, like I say, a lot of combo decks rely on using their graveyard as a second hand. So Called by the Grave just gets rid of them. Then 3 copies of Hippo Carnival. Now, you might think, why are you running this card? There's a YouTuber out there, I would need to find out his name, but a lot of people have said that he come up with the idea, and it's a really fantastic one to use with the Link monsters. So the Link monsters effect is you have to banish 3 cards you control or in your hand to summon basically 3 Nordics directly to the field. What you can chain it with this card because it's a quick play and summon out 3 Hippo tokens. Then you basically use the Link Monsters effect to banish all 3 tokens, so you basically have no cost. Like this one card is the whole cost to summon out a Nordic god, and it's kind of decent because with this card's effect, if you have a Hippo token, you can't summon monsters from your extra deck. So you could just, so the reason why you'd use this, like I say, is to just is for free cost of a Nordic god. Also, because it's a spell, you can send it if it's a dead card in your hand to summon out Mimir. Then we've got 1 copy of Instant Fusion. We've got Thousand Eyes Restrict, great target for it to go and steal your opponent's card for a Link play if you want to. Also, we have a level 3 monster that's a beast as well. It will help you go into like more Link play or go and help you go into 4 if you have. Like, if you're just missing a level 3 monster in Instant Fusion, it's easier to go into 4. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, another combo extender, steal one of your opponent's monsters, steal your own, makes it easier for you to go into a Synchro or a Link play. And then 3 copies of Glitnir, the Fetters of Fenrir. So this is, unfortunately, it's a trap. If this was a magic, this card would be so good. But because it's a trap, it just hurts the deck so much. So with this, you get to add 1 Nordic monster from your deck to your hand. It's a shame it's not a spell, otherwise this deck would be way more powerful. But you have to live with what you have, guys. So yeah, it's just a searcher for the deck, and you just go on from there. Going on to the extra deck, we are running, I say, 2 targets for Instant Fusion. 1 Fusionist, it's a beast monster that's a level 3, easier to go into 4. Again, because it's a beast, it's resurrected, and you can resurrect it with Ares Rock Sunrise, and you just go on from there, guys, really. And then 1 copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict, shuts, if your opponent has like a boss monster, Thousand Eyes Restrict just absorbs it, gets it out of the way, then you can just link Thousand Eyes Restrict away to get rid of their monster, and you just go on from there. Synchros, we running Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, and one of the best level 7s in my opinion. The reason we're running it is because it's easier actually to go into the level 7s than in this deck actually to get than it is going to like level 8s. Like I was thinking of running cards like Stardust Dragon or Stardust Spark Dragon, or maybe like just better or just generally better level 8s, but the extra deck I just found, Links were actually just a great way for this deck more synchro plays. So I decided to take out some synchros and replace them with Links, which actually does give it a lot more play. And I decided to keep in Moonlight because it's so easy to go into. With, like I say, you've got what 5 tuners that can go into this with just your Beast archetype, which is easy to go into. And when this card is special summoned, you can target a level 5 or higher card your opponent controls, return it back, or a monster that is I'm returning it back to the deck. Also, it should and also I think it's should a monster be special summoned. Yeah. So if this card is special summoned or level 5 or higher card is special summoned, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and return it to the deck. So it even does it during your opponent's turn if they special summon a monster. So it really comes in handy. Then, of course, the 3 Nordic gods are running 1 Loki, 2 Odin, and 2 Thor. So the reason why you're only running 1 Loki is because, like I say, you can make him legitly with Vandris, but it has no protection because we don't have a Alpha tuner monster. So basically what his effect is, it's a quick effect during your battle phase and only your battle phase. Should your opponent activate a spell or trap, Loki can negate the activation and destroy the trap. So it really comes in handy. We can't activate its other ability where, like we can't use his graveyard ability because, like say, we don't have a Nordic Alpha. But it's just great to just go into, just splash him in. You don't have to run Loki. You could take him out for a more useful play. But I just found, why not? We're using the free Nordic gods, guys. You've got to. Odin, Father of the Asia. In opinion, one of the best Nordics. He is running 4,000 attack points, which is pretty nice. Once per turn, you can make this guy unaffected by all spell and traps until the turn's end phase, which is really great. Gets around a lot of pesky cards your opponent has. And if this card you control was destroyed by opponent's card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can banish a Nordic Ascendant Tuner monster, which we have 5 of in the deck. You can special summon Odin back to the field, and then you get to draw 1 card. So there you go. So this will say you can easily go into Odin turn 1 or whatever turn you're going to go into with the Link monster. Then, because you're going to 9 times out of 10, guys, you will always use Alvis as cost. So when Odin goes to the graveyard, you're going to then special summon any of the other 2 Nordic gods. So you still have another play. And then during the end phase, boom, Odin comes back. You draw an extra card. Then your opponent has to stare down 2 Nordic gods. And also, speaking of Nordic gods, we are running, of course, 2 Thor Lord of the Asia. By far the most easiest Nordic god to go into, like I say, with the Beast package there is. Once per turn, you can negate all the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls until the turn's end phase. It's like an effect veiler that runs on all monsters your opponent has. And because his effect doesn't target, even if your opponent has effects where this card cannot be targeted by card effects and all of that, Thor's effect will still shut their effect down because he doesn't target. And if this face-up card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can banish a Nordic Beast tuner. So basically you banish a Gil Foxy from your graveyard. And then resurrect 4, and then your opponent will lose 800 points of damage. Going on to the links, we are running 1 Bolsaur Dragon. He's easier to bring out because I am running Crystalline Needle Fiber. Because Needle Fiber is like a link to himself. Needle Fiber can special summon another monster, like another tuner. So then you can just use, that's link free material right there. If you've got another monster on the field, boom, you can instantly bring out Bolsaur. And with this card, it cannot be destroyed in battle. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field, swap it from attack to defense mode. This bad boy can attack twice. You can even do that during your opponent's turn as well. Also, if you... and also if this card attacks an opponent's monster, slice that monster's attack in half and give it to Bolsaur. Now like I say, Crystalline Needle Fiber, you need 2 monsters including the tuner. So say for instance you've already got a Nordic god and you've got your Link monster already there. you can go into crystalline needle fiber or use your, or say you've already got your, so you can like summon out a tuner, use the tuner and your Nordic Link monster, go into this bad boy, summon out another tuner, just extend your combo play, and of course you can just send more Nordic tuners to the graveyard to fuel Odin's ability. Then here it is, guys. 3 copies of Gildvig, I think that's how you pronounce her name, of the Nordic Ascendant. So you need 1 level 5 or lower Nordic monster. We don't have a level 5 or higher Nordic, so any Nordic monster brings out this card. If this card is link summon, you can banish up to 3 cards you have in your hand or field, and if you do, special summon that many Nordics from your deck in defense mode. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon any other monsters except an Asia monster. So basically, you can special summon, so after you summon this card, you can only special summon one of the 3 Nordic gods. And the reason why Hippo Carnival is great is because you're going to chain her effect with Hippo Carnival. So Hippo Carnival will activate first, giving you the tokens, then her effect will activate, getting rid of the tokens, summon out your monsters, you still have your whole hand, you haven't used out any card. And also, while this card points to one of the 3 Nordic gods, your opponent cannot target that monster with card effects or effects, and they cannot battle this card with card or target this card with card effects. So she gives your 3 Nordic gods protection from being targeted. She can't be targeted and she can't be attacked. So your opponent has to attack over one of your 3 Nordic gods to bring out this card. And then we're running Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Phoenix just to use your Nordic Ascendant Link monster with another monster. Should your opponent has to have a pesky spell or trap, just destroy it and you discard a card if it's a Nordic tuner. Boom, you give your card more protection. Then we're running Nightmare Unicorn, which is kind of the same thing. You can just basically send 1 card to the graveyard, target 1 card your opponent has that's like a pesky card, just send it back to the deck. And that's it for the deck, guys. I do hope you enjoy Nordics. They are actually a very fun deck. I really do actually like playing, like, you know, just for casually playing against like duelist challenges. I love to play this deck just because it's so fun. By all means, that doesn't mean it's crap online. I do have some replays, guys, to show you what it's like online, so please check them out if you have time. And with that, guys, take care wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, stay healthy. I shall see you in another video.